Today we're going to talk about Meredith Kercher. Hey guys, Victoria Paxton here. Thanks for stopping back by my YouTube channel. Okay, today, Meredith Kercher. You'll probably recognize who she is once we get going with it. So, let me start by saying there's no Friday Night Live this week. Excuse me. We're going to be hanging out with family, so I won't be doing a Friday Night Live. Yeah, I've got a nasty headache, y'all, but I want to push on through it, okay? All right, so here we go. Meredith Susanna Kerr Kirshner was born on December 28, 1985 in Southwark, South London. Known to her friends as Mez, I believe. She lived in Colston, South London. She attended Old Palace School in Croydon. Meredith was enthusiastic about the language and the culture of Italy. So after a school exchange trip, she returned at the age of 15 to spend summer vacation with a family in Sessa Arunca, I think. I'm probably mispronouncing that. Sorry. Kercher studied European politics and Italian at the University of Leeds. Working as a barmaid, tour guide, and in promotions to support herself, she made a cameo appearance in the music video for Christian, I'm gonna butcher this, you guys. I apologize, Christian. Leontius' song, Some Say, in 2004. She aspired to work for the European Union or as a journalist. In October of 2007, she attended the University of Perugia, probably butchered that too, where she began courses in modern history, political theory, and the history of cinema. Fellow students later described her as caring, intelligent, witty, and popular. Perugia is a well-known cultural and artistic city of 150,000 people. More than a quarter of the population are students, many from abroad, giving it a vibrant social scene. In Perugia, Kercher shared a 4-bedroom ground floor flat in a house at Via della Pergola. Her flatmates were 2 Italian women in their late 20s, Filomena Romanelli and Laura Mazzetti, and 20-year-old American student from the University of Washington, you'll know this name, Amanda Knox, who was attending the University for Foreigners in Perugia on an exchange year. Perugia. I don't know, y'all. I'm so bad at butchering these poor. Kercher and Knox moved in on the 10th and 20th of September of 2007, respectively, meeting each other for the very first time. Kercher typically called her mother daily on a mobile phone. A second mobile phone what she used was registered to her flatmate, Romanelli. The lower level of the house was occupied by 4 young Italian men with whom both Kercher and Knox were friendly. Late one night in mid-October, Kercher and Knox met Rudy Guide, I don't know how to pronounce it, when they returned home at 2 a.m. I think it's Guide had been invited into the lower level flat by some of the Italian tenants to whom he had attached himself. At 4:30, sounds like a real swell guy, doesn't it? He attached himself. At 4:30 a.m., Kercher and Knox left. Also in mid-October, Kercher and Knox attended the Euro Chocolate Festival. That's definitely a festival I could get into. I think I just gained 20 pounds talking about it. On October 25th, 2007, Kercher and Knox attended a classical music concert where Knox met Raphael Solicito, a 23-year-old computer science student at the University of Perugia. The 1st of November was a public holiday in Italy, so Kercher's Italian flatmates were out of town, as were the occupants of the downstairs flat. That evening, Kercher had dinner with 3 English women at one of their homes. She parted company with a friend around 8:45 p.m., about 500 yards from Via della Pergola. By Knox's account, having spent the night with Solicito, she arrived at Via della Pergola 7 on the morning of November 2nd, 2007, finding the front door open and drops of blood in the bathroom she shared with Kercher. Kercher's bedroom door was locked, which Knox took as an indication that Kercher was sleeping. After showering in the bathroom, Kercher and she shared, Knox found feces in the toilet of the bathroom shared by Romanelli and Mazzetti. Can I just say, like, if you walked in and saw drops of blood, would you care that your roommate's door was locked? Like, I would be beating down the door, right? That doesn't make any sense. Anyway, Knox went back to Solicito's home and later returned with him to Via della Pergola 7. Noticing a broken window in Romanelli's bedroom and alarmed that Kercher did not answer her door, Solicito unsuccessfully tried to force the door open. Solicito called his sister, a lieutenant in the Carabinieri, I don't know, y'all, for advice. Sorry, guys, I'm falling apart. She advised him to call the 112 emergency number, which he did. After receiving a phone call from Knox, Romanelli arrived at the flat. In rummaging around looking for anything that might be missing, Romanelli inadvertently disturbed the crime scene. Well, that wasn't very smart. On discovering that the two phones Kercher typically carried with her had been found in a nearby garden, Romanelli became concerned and requested that the police force open the door to Kercher's room, but the police declined. Instead, Romanelli's male friend forced the door open around 1:15 p.m. and the body of Kercher was found inside, laying on the floor, covered in a duvet. Oh my God, that's so sad. Pathologist Luca Lally from Perugia's Forensic Science Institute performed the autopsy on Kercher's body. Her injuries consisted of 16 bruises and 7 cuts. These included several bruises and a few substantial cuts on the palm of her hand. Bruises on her nose, nostrils, mouth, and underneath her jaw were compatible with a hand being clamped over her mouth and nose. Lally's autopsy report was reviewed by 3 pathologists from Perugia's Forensic Science Institute, who interpreted the injuries, including some of the general region, as indicating an attempt to immobilize Kercher during sex. Violence. A funeral was held on December 14th, 2007 at Croydon Minster, with more than 300 people in attendance, followed by a private burial at Mitcham Road Cemetery. The degree that Kercher would have received in 2009 was awarded posthumously by the University of Leeds. It's very cool. And outlining the case for colleagues, hours after the discovery of Kercher's body, Perugia Riccardo Volanti Detective Superintendent Monica Napoleon told them that the murder was definitely not a burglar and that apparent signs of a break-in were staged as a deliberate deception. Knox was the only occupant of the house who had been nearby on the night of the murder. She said that she spent that night of November 1st with Solicito at his flat. Over the next 4 days, Knox was repeatedly interviewed without being given access to a lawyer. She later testified that she was subjected to pressure tactics and struck by police to make her incriminate herself. She was arrested and charged with murder at noon on November 6th of 2007. Poliani was backed by several other detectives in arguing for the arrest of Knox, Solicito, and Patrick Lumumba, the latter whom Knox had implicated as being involved. Really. However, Napoleoni's immediate superior, Chief Superintendent Marco Chiria, I don't know, thought arrests would be premature and advocated close surveillance of the suspects as the best way to further the investigation. On November 8th, 2007, Knox, Solicito, and Lumumba appeared before Judge Claudia Mattini, and during an hour-long adjournment, Knox met her lawyers for the very first time. Mattini ordered Knox, Solicito, and Lumumba to be detained for a year. On November 19th, 2007, the Rome Forensic Police matched fingerprints found in Kercher's bedroom to Rudy Guide. I don't know. I don't care. On November 20th, 2007, Guide was arrested in Germany and Lumumba was released. The prosecution charged Guide with the murder. Okay, so I was able to connect with Meredith. You know how it goes. I explained who I was, why I wanted to talk to her. She talked about things in general, family, friends. Okay, so I asked her if she would tell me what happened that last day. And she said she had she was laying in bed, and she said she heard somebody like downstairs, and she knew that didn't make any sense that anybody would be downstairs because supposedly they were out of town or something. So I don't think she said out of town. I think she just said they weren't home. Is what she said. They just weren't home, and she wasn't expecting them. So, but she thought, okay, maybe one of them changed their mind. So she said the next thing she knows, somebody is on top of her. She was fighting and struggling. She finally got a look at the person. It was Guide. I don't know, you guys. I didn't ask her how to properly pronounce it, and it really didn't stick with me when she said his name, so sorry. I think it's Guide, though. I think that's what she said. Anyway, he said, if you just relax and do what I tell you to do, I'm not going to hurt you. You'll live. I'm not going to kill you. You'll be all right. Okay, so he was trying to reassure her. So she said she kind of relaxed a little bit, knowing what was about to happen. And she said the next thing she knows, she felt him like he was trying to cover her face. And she realized at that point, she's fighting for breath. And at the same time, he's trying to, SEX, RAPE. And she said that's the last thing that she remembers. Okay. But let me tell you, I wanted to save this for now. So remember how she was saying that she heard someone downstairs? She didn't hear, it wasn't Guide that she heard downstairs, okay? Because when he overtook her and tried to overpower her, she still heard the person downstairs. And she said she's not 100% sure why, but she thought she heard music too. So I said, oh my gosh. So basically, someone else knows that she was harmed. Now, if they were downstairs listening to music, chilling, maybe they didn't know that she was being and killed, Maybe they didn't know that she was being, smothered. But there was definitely another person in that house. She said she had no idea who it was, no clue. She didn't know if it was one of Guide's friends. She didn't know if it was one of her flatmates. She didn't know. But she said, I 180% know someone was there. And she said, I'm not sure why, but I keep thinking that I heard music too. So I don't know who that is, but somebody out there, apparently someone out there knows what happened. So if it was completely innocent and they didn't realize what was going on upstairs, but you would think, with Amanda Knox and Solicito and Lumumba being arrested, you would think that whoever was in that house would be like, oh, wait a minute, someone died and I was there. And maybe that's what it is. Maybe they're just scared. Maybe it was completely innocent. They happen to be there, but they're just scared. But you need to come forward. I mean, come on, you need to come forward. Really, seriously. So let me just say about Amanda Knox. So, the reason they said that they arrested her, okay, was because, listen to this. Once Kercher's body was discovered, her and Solicito were standing outside, right? And the police are in there, and, they're coming to get the body, and they're checking everything out to see if there's any evidence left. But whoever it was that ruffled through everything kind of probably screwed that up. Anyway, so she just finds out that her friend, even if they weren't close, her flatmate was murdered where she lives. Like, she's standing outside making out with her boyfriend, and they're like all over each other, couldn't keep their hands off of each other. It's like, so I get why the police were like something's fishy here. I get that. I mean, I know people deal with grief differently, but come on. Making out with your boyfriend after you just find, like, that would be, you know, so scary. Like, someone was just murdered, your flatmate, your friend, you know, and even if you weren't friends with her, she was murdered where you live. Like, come on, you know. So that's what I got, you guys. Be nice, be kind, stay safe, stay healthy. Watch out for this, like, monkeypox crap that's going around. Yeah. You need to be prepared for all the crap that's coming up. Food prices are going through the roof. There are tons of shortages. Be smart and prepare. That's what prepping's about, being prepared. Instead of living in fear, you know, do the best you can to prepare. Even if it's, you go to the Dollar Tree and you spend, you know, $10 once a week. You can get $10 worth of food at the Dollar Tree. You know what I mean? Like, just take care of yourselves, guys. No Friday Night Live this week. I'll be enjoying time with my husband's family. And that about does it for me. Bye, guys.